So welcome back. We've just finished the first moves, as you can see. So the Roman cavalry have surged forward, as have all the Roman units. They've left their base lines and moved forwards. Again, they've retained exactly the same formation. The Carthaginians have done pretty much the same, moving forwards. And those Numidians are running round the flank, doing their best to cause me some headache. Well, what we're going to be doing now is he's obviously wanting to break through my left flank, those medium foot I showed you over here. These boys, these are in danger. They're facing whacking great amount of heavy cavalry, and if I don't do something about it, then my boys are going to turn into mincemeat. The Roman legions can probably hold out against this cavalry. They're big, strong, heavy foot. His cavalry are quite likely to bounce off of those. I have better armour, and when it turns to the grinding melee, I have a slight edge against his cavalry. But his cavalry, in this game at least, will continue to break off, move away, charge back in, give you constant headaches. And they're very hard to pin down and kill. If I can keep my medium foot in the rough terrain, I can avoid his cavalry coming in, because the rough terrain disorder his cavalry. In this game, disorder is reflected by losing combat dice, because their formation is broken up. So, as a defensive measure, I will probably hold my medium foot back a little bit to allow them to take a defensive position against his heavy cavalry. What worries me as well is that huge, great big mass of troops with elephants that is moving down the centre. There are an awful lot of units there, and they can easily get around the side of me. My cavalry are of no use whatsoever against his spearmen, so I need to at least break one of his units over there and then allow my cavalry to wrap around. I may use the mobile reserve then, switching them onto the flank and encircling. The main Roman units, I'm intending to advance them a little bit further and then form a solid line, maybe even bowing them into some sort of V-shaped formation to create a bigger frontage that forces him to wheel, and his troops don't have the same training as the Romans do. Manoeuvring them around like that is a major headache, especially in this game. This game differentiates between drilled and undrilled troops. The undrilled troops are very, very hard to manoeuvre, and the Carthaginians are all undrilled. Drilled troops know their formations, know their orders. They're a little bit easier to change formation with, move around the battlefield with, and the Romans are all drilled. So I can maybe apply that to my advantage and cause him some lining up problems like that. It may mean that some of his units don't contact my line all at the same time, and that will give me a little bit of an advantage in the ensuing combat. So that's a possibility, but we'll have to see how it goes.
Well, my plans, Justin pointed out earlier, I've got a big strong force on my right flank, not so much on my left flank, so I'm refusing my left flank and pin him there, try to gain time, perhaps make his cavalry lose time chasing my Numidians, while my main cavalry force breaks his Italian allies and then tries to swing around the flank. As Justin pointed out, if my cavalry go against his legionnaires from the front, they'll probably just bounce off and not do much. But if I can manage to wheel around his flank, it will be a different story. In an ideal case scenario, my cavalry will hit his flank at the same time that my infantry hits his front. But that's still a bit in the future. We'll see about that in later turns.
Okay, so then, to summarise, over there, down on the far flank, cavalry got to get around the side of those spearmen. Over here, these boys here, these medium foot, got to stop somewhere over here in the field to stop that Genghis Khan style horde washing right over me. And I got to give them a little bit of support from these boys here. So this legion is not actually facing any troops except for the slingers, so it can probably spare a unit to head off down that direction. And the other unit will then try and just cause some delay to his main line. His main line is going to hold off my cavalry, and his spearmen are going to try and block me. His main line is going to advance at my main line, and because he has the weight of numbers, he wants to do it as quickly as possible. And those elephants are pretty good in this game. They negate armor, and if they do well in combat, you tend to run away pretty damn quick. But if you can hold, they're a bit of a glass dagger, and they break rather quickly if they don't break through. Whenever I've played the Carthaginians, they seem to do most of the running away. Let's see if it continues. What worries me most, I think, is those Spanish troops at the back, because although I can hold off that cavalry, those impact foot, as they're termed in this game, can cause a lot of problems. They're very, very good at the initial charge, and the last thing I want to do is to face them one-on-one combat, because if they cause my troops to be disrupted, then I'm going to end up with major headaches, because then his cavalry will find gaps in my line and will break through. So we're now going to move our second turn, and we'll bring you another report after that.